Well, alright, what's going on guys? FaZe Kay here and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm going to be telling you all the story about how I nearly died 2 times. One time was actually last week and it was, I'd say, my closer experience to death. One time was more all around generally scary. But I've got 2 stories for you guys today. If you do enjoy any of these stories, then do smash a like. If you guys like me just sitting down and telling you these like crazy stories and crazy things, then like I said, just smash a like if you do enjoy it. If you don't, then that's cool, just, click off this video, but I really do like these anyway, so I'm just going to get straight into this. Well, actually, I'm not going to get straight into this. I'm actually in a different setup. I don't know if any of you guys recognize where I am. I'm in my little brother Jarvis's room. He is actually in Scotland right now. My whole family is away other than me and Chandler. It's just us 2 in the house. We've got the whole house to ourselves, so I'm just in your room, Jarvis. But anyway, yeah, I know I have told this story one time on my channel. I mentioned it in a CutCom video. Pretty much, this is the story about how I nearly died on an aeroplane. So essentially, I went to New York, in 2011. It's a school trip. We're going skiing in New York in these hills or these mountains called Ski Vermont, I believe it's called Ski Vermont. Some of you guys might, in Killington. Killington was the name of the place. That was what was the end of my tongue. We're in a place called Killington, Ski Vermont, going down the mountains. We had a fun week, all of that. We get on the plane to go back and the 2 groups get split up. So pretty much we go as a school. I'm with my friends and the school gets split up into 2 groups. This first plane takes off and takes like 90% of the school. So 90% of the school get on this plane that's like just before ours. They get off, they go back to England. They're all sweet and fine. The plane that comes and gets us like a few hours later was just me and my friends. We all stayed together. We were like, yeah, we don't give a fuck about staying in America for like an extra hour or 2. That's all we thought we would be here for, like an extra hour or 2. So we're like, yeah, that's cool. So we get on this plane. It's like just me and my mates, pretty much just me and all my friends. There's like, I'd say 20 of us in total on this plane. And, it takes off. It's perfectly fine. Everybody starts watching a film. I put my headphones in. I'm sitting next to my friend Harry. I put my headphones in, just start falling asleep. And like, yeah, I thought this was just a flight back from New York to London, just like I've done. Well, I've done it loads of times now, but back then I had never done that. Well, that's the second time I'd done it. And then all of a sudden, the plane starts to tremble. Like, you guys know you get turbulence in a plane. If you don't know what that is, it's when I think the wind, or like there's different wind, and it just causes the plane to shake pretty much. And all you have to do is put your seatbelt back on. They put a seatbelt sign, and you just got to put your seatbelt back on. You're clipped in, and you're fine. There's never really an issue. You just sit there, you wobble for a bit. You might be scared. Some people do get really frightened of turbulence. I personally don't, because I've seen it all in films, and I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna die on a plane, I'm already fucked, okay? I'm in a plane. So if there's a bit of turbulence, I'm not gonna be too scared. So I was like, alright, we're just chilling. And the turbulence it went on for a while. So I was like, okay, I've never had turbulence this bad. Maybe it's just a bad storm or something. So me and my friends were like, yeah, this is just cool. And then the turbulence, it starts to get bad. Like, when I say bad, the turbulence was just not like some normal kind of turbulence. So the plane's like shaking like that, like going, I'm sitting there in the chair like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? So like, immediately I see something's going wrong. I think, who was it that told me? I think it's either my friend or like my dad, like somebody who I got advice from one day, said, if you're ever on an aeroplane and it's like, you feel like it's fucking up, just look at the flight attendants. The flight attendants are the people that work there, that walk up and down the aisles. Just take a look at them and look at their facial expressions. If they look, happy and dandy and fine and they're just chilling, you're good. If they look like they're scared, because they're the ones that fly more than like once a day, every day across the world. If they look scared, there is a reason to be scared, because they know something serious must be going on, or like something isn't right. So I just remembered that bit of information that clicked in my head, and I was like, oh, Harry, let's just look at the flight attendants. So me and him, everyone was going crazy. It was kind of hard to see what was going on. Everyone was getting back down in their seats. I look at the flight attendant and I see them in their middle compartment. You guys know there's sections to a plane, like you've got the back part, you've got a compartment, then you've got the middle part of a plane, then a compartment, then the front part. We were like in the back part of the plane, and this compartment in front of us where they keep all our bits of food in there, I looked through the curtains and I could see these 2 flight attendants, and they look more scared than the girls that were on our school trip. There was girls on our school trip at this point already being sick in bags, screaming, crying, cuddling everybody. And I see a flight attendant look very ill, look scared, scared out of their mind. They look so scared. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, so at this point I'm like, shit. All right, this is kind of serious. Like, this plane's trembling and these flight attendants, they're not coming out and reassuring us. They're just sitting there being scared. So like 5 minutes pass or so, and we're still there. I think the trembling had like died down a bit, but then that wasn't even the worst part. We get like a call from the flight. Is there someone in my garden? My stepdad's home. Sorry, I'm here all alone and I can see a figure in my garden. That scared me a bit. But anyway, so yeah, we get like the pilot, sorry, or the captain, whatever he's called. He comes on the intercom, you know, he plays a message through to everybody on the plane, and he just goes, I don't remember it exactly, but he was like, apologies, the left or right, I think it was the left wing, either one of the wings, sorry if I get it wrong, but pretty much one of the wings engine is failing. So you guys know you've got an aeroplane wing like that, you've got that little circle bit on it that spins like the fucking engine on the wing. There's 2 engines on each wing usually. The things that spin, like if you remember in The Incredibles or in a film, someone got sucked into one. I don't know, you guys might remember that. That's my vivid memory of an engine plane. But anyway, one of the engine planes, the things that spin, stopped working. It stopped working. So the pilot's like, apologies for like the inconvenience. The engine plane isn't working. We're gonna have to emergency land in Atlanta. So I'm sitting there like, this is literally my 2nd flight ever to America. I'd flown there once and I was just flying back. I'm sitting there like, what? The wing has failed. So then I was scared, okay? Then me and all my friends were kind of like, we were like, oh my fucking God. Like, we were so scared. The girls were still being sick. Everyone was like crying. The only way the plane could literally operate is by flying in circles and circles and circles to land. Because the plane wing was broken, the plane physically couldn't just fly straight. So the plane had to go in circles and circles and circles, and we're just gradually getting lower and lower. It was literally, I'd say 2 hours of like just gliding through the air just so the pilot could land in some random airstrip in Atlanta. So the plane is spinning and spinning in circles, and like I said, the plane can't go straight. So the only way for the plane to land is for the plane to like somehow spin and then get enough spin to go straight onto a runway for like however long it takes to land. The plane pilot manages to do it. I don't think you guys really understand my heart. When the plane was spinning and I saw us getting closer to the runway, I was like, ah! I was screaming, guys. I was with my friend Harry. I was like holding his, I don't know, probably his hand. And we were just like, ah! Like thinking we were gonna die. It was funny, but it wasn't funny at the time. It's funny to look back at and make a video about because I can see how it is funny. But at the time, I promise you, it was the most scary thing ever. Like legit thinking you're gonna die on a plane is something you see in a film. When it happens to you in person, like an experience, nowhere near as bad as I'm sure some people have experienced, but when you have experienced that bad, it's fucking crazy. And it was mental, and we landed safely. We ended up staying in the airport for like 2 hours, and then they gave us a hotel because the plane was so fucked up. They gave us a hotel. We stayed in the hotel for like a day, not even a night, just a whole day. And then they put us on the same plane back home. Luckily, the plane was fine, but you can imagine all of us kids were like, you think we're getting on that plane? What do you mean? We're not getting on that plane, but you know, we eventually got on the plane. They took us home, and we had a good trip. We had a better story to tell than the 90% of the kids that got on that first plane, I think anyway. But you know, yeah, that's it. That is my first story of how I nearly died. The second time, I'll tell you guys now. Okay, so this second time is nowhere near as crazy, but personally for me, it was a closer personal experience to dying. So pretty much what happened to me is I was on holiday the other week in Magaluf with my friend Harrison, Ryan, and Linksy. You guys obviously will know Linksy. And then we was like 4 of Linksy's friends as well. They were there with us. One of the guys who got the tattoo, you know him. We were all there. And it was the last day, and obviously when you're there, guys, you like go out and you drink every night, so it's fun. Like you are drinking every night. No one ever does that. Like I've never done that in my entire life. You go out, drink every night, have a fun time, come back home, get minimal sleep, then go back out the day, do it again. It's all really fun. Like it's a fun holiday. Everyone in England calls it like a lad's holiday. You know what I mean? Like you go and do that kind of stuff. It is a good laugh. Definitely, if you're over 18, I definitely recommend doing it. If you've got a good group of friends, it's actually a real good time. But the last day, I didn't know that I was also ill. Like, I didn't know that I was ill, but like something must have happened to me there. Apparently, something that I did, don't do what I did, guys, but like there was like something called a fish bowl, and I had like 8 straws, and I sucked up a fish bowl through 8 straws, and apparently that put so much gas into my body that my body literally filled up with gas. So that was the last night. I woke up on the last day that we had. We had like one more night, we woke up and then just flew over in the morning. But the last full day we had, I remember like I waking up and it felt like, imagine guys when you're about to burp, you're about to burp. But imagine that, but it's just all trapped, and there's so much gas stuck in your stomach that it feels like I couldn't physically go like that. I had to stay perfectly straight spine. Nothing was moving. I was like trying to burp all day, and then it got to a point where I went to the doctors, and the doctors gave me these medicine, these pills. They were like, yeah, okay, you've got like something like wrong. Like you've got a lot of trapped, just literally air. Just air is just trapped in my body. For some reason, like I was just full of air, mate. It was so weird. So I got these pills and that, and I was already like sleep deprived. I forgot to mention this to you guys. I was already sleep deprived. In 48 hours, I had slept for 2 hours. So in 2 days, I'd had 2 hours sleep, and it wasn't even a straight 2 hours. It's about an hour and a half. So I'm already like so sleep deprived. My body's hungover. My body's ill. Like there's so many things going wrong at one time. It just wasn't a good like mix. It's also so hot in Magaluf, and you know, so I was like, okay, I'm kind of fucked up. We go out, start drinking, and as soon as you start drinking on the last night, I was like, all right, guys, like Jack, Ryan, Harrison, like you've seen the state I've been in all day. You know I've been so ill. I've been to the doctors and all that. I'm gonna go back to the apartment, just call the last night a quit. Like not a quit, but like I have to forfeit. I'm gonna die, which yeah, kind of happened later anyway. But so I called that a forfeit, went back to the hotel, and I tried to sleep. I went back to the hotel at 12 p.m. So 12 at night, I went back to the hotel. From 12 until 3:30, those boys stayed out. So Linksy and that stayed out. They came back at 12:30. I'm still laying there trying to go to sleep. They come back home, they go to sleep at 3:30 and wake up at like 9 in the morning. From 3:30 when they get back, I'm still laying there awake, and I'm laying there awake from 3:30 till literally 6 in the morning. I'm awake, just trying to sleep. And I'll explain to you guys exactly what happened. So pretty much, you know when I say to you, I'm sorry if this annoys you, but you're now manually breathing. So like, you know when you have to think about breathing, like you can't breathe unless you think it. So you know we always just breathe like automatically or whatever. So I had to like manually breathe. So I had to think about every breath I was doing. For some reason, like I was so ill in such a weird state. Like I was laying in the bed, sorry, and trying to sleep, but like I had to constantly think about the fact that I was breathing. My nose was blocked. I had to just breathe out my mouth. So I was like trying to breathe, and then it got to a point where I was so tired that I would fall asleep. But because I was manually breathing, like I wasn't breathing, like my body wasn't breathing by itself. I had to think about breathing. So when I fell asleep, my body was not breathing while I was asleep. It's not like I was asleep, my body breathed normally again. I wasn't awake thinking about breathing. So because I was so tired and I like drifted off into sleep, my body would literally wake me up as if I was starving for oxygen. So you guys know when you hold your breath for as long as you can, it felt like that, but it felt like that as soon as I woke up. So I'd wake up and like be starving for oxygen. So I'd be like like that, and I'll be like sitting up, like panting, like thought I was actually dying. And I was at a point where I was like, oh my god. And then Linksy and that got back to the hotel. That was before 3:30. It only happened once. Then when Linksy and that got back, between the time of 3:30 and 6 in the morning, it happened another 4 times. Linksy was there, like in the bed next to me, because we had this one room. Harrison, Ryan in another room. Me and Linksy were there, and Linksy like saw it. Linksy was waking up throughout the night like, shit, FaZe, mate, are you okay? And I was literally there, like, I didn't want to like, I didn't want him to lose much sleep, because, you know, no one had really slept much. So I was like, yeah, mate, like, I know I'm not good, but I'm just going to sit up. And he was just like, cool, because obviously it was a night. Jack was helping me out a lot. Shout out to Jack for that. But literally, like, I would wake up and like be starving of oxygen. And there would be points where I would sit up to try and stay awake. And I would find myself just asleep, and then waking up starving for oxygen again, like like that. And like literally, I reckon, like if my body just fell asleep for an extra like 30 seconds or however long I couldn't hold my breath for, there would be a high chance that I would like suffocate in my sleep, purely because my body just isn't breathing. I don't know if this has like got a name for whatever I was going through. If any of you know what it was called that I was going through, like when I couldn't breathe while I was asleep, please let me know. I was also ill at the same time. There was so many different things wrong with me, and then like I was just completely like messed up. And I managed to fall asleep. I managed to fall asleep at 6. It was an accident. I was like sitting up. I was going to wait until the doctors open and go there. And think about this. By the time it got to 6 in the morning, it had been nearly 3 days when I had had 2 hours sleep. So imagine the state my body's in, how tired I am. I'm trying not to sleep, but every time I do sleep, I wake up nearly fucking dying. So this is one of the maddest experiences for me ever. It might not sound as mad, but just try and picture it, waking up, starving for oxygen, like literally gasping for your last breath. That's how I felt like 5, 6 times when I woke up throughout the night. So it was crazy that I managed to fall asleep at 6 in the morning till about 9 when I had our flight the next day, and I slept. Like put the bed, I moved my mattress into a completely different spot, laid down in a weird position, and I managed to fall asleep. Somehow, I got 3 hours sleep, got on the plane, and then the past weekend, which was last weekend, I was recovering. I'm all better now, guys. No clue what that was that happened to me, but that was probably like the closest personal experience of me dying, like for something that was happening just to me. And then the plane story was the most, you know, scary experience of me dying, where it's like out of my control. Well, they're both out of my control, but I hope you guys do know what I mean. But yeah, that is it. I really want you guys as well, okay? This is the end of the video. My stories are done, but I really want you guys, if it's a long comment, I'll read it. If it's a short comment, obviously I'll still read it. But comment down below any crazy or the nearest death experience you have personally, or someone you know that could be a crazy experience. Tell me in the comments, because I'm really interested, and I'll read all the comments throughout this video, or throughout like the next few days this video goes up. But yeah, there's nothing really else for me to speak about in this video. If you guys do enjoy these sit-down speaks about me talking about some crazy stuff, there will only be crazy things. If I ever sit down and speak, it will only be something crazy, like a crazy story or a crazy, like, inspirational kind of thing. It's so hot in this room, by the way. Sorry if I'm sweating, guys. It is like the hottest days in England right now, if you don't know that already. But yeah, smash a like on this video if you did enjoy it, guys. This has been FaZe Kay, and I'll catch you in my video tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.